Hello and welcome back to NerdVsWorld, a fistful of nerds.
Hola.
I am Brendan.
I'm Spindles.
And I'm Adi.
Okay, let's just get cracking straight into the news this week. What have we seen?
Brief news from today was about David Bradley, who's going to be taking on the role of William Hartnell in the Adventures in Space and Time biopic Mark Gatiss penned thing, whatever it's going to be. It's a 90-minute docudrama on BBC for the 50th anniversary. So
Doctor Who again.
Trying to inhale his beard again because of Doctor Who. I can sit and talk about Doctor Who more. I'm interested to see what happens when you get to the end of your beard. That wasn't his beard, folks. That was something else being shoved in his mouth.
And we're more or less back to fisting with Adi.
Yay! Fisting with AD.
That might just be the title of the show from now on. Just call it that.
It's got to do a sideshow.
Yeah, that's the spin-off show. Adi, news?
Yeah, I've heard from Trent Reznor on the Twitter Vine that there's going to be a new song and video on release as of tomorrow, which would be pretty awesome.
This is a 9 Inch Nails project, yeah?
It is, as far as I'm aware, it was sent out as 9 Inch Nails as releasing a new song tomorrow.
Awesome.
Is it Twitter Vine? Is that what you'd call it?
I call it Twitterverse.
The Twitterverse?
Or the Twitter Sphere, occasionally.
Or the Twitterati?
Yeah, well, I haven't quite got to the verse yet.
Sinister connotations.
I'm still climbing my way up through the trees, so, I'm on the Twitter Vine, getting my way up.
Right, okay, you're
I haven't
down.
opened through the canopy yet.
Fair enough.
Trust me, the view from the top of the canopy, it's not worth it.
It says you. How many followers have you got on Twitter?
I don't know, about 300 odd, I think.
Oh. Right, you've got, what, 6?
Well, no, there's a few more than 6. I think it's about 14 now, but 6 of them are random Japanese
right,
guys
okay.
from various bands, because I am liking one of the Japanese bands, and they all went, "Ooh, guy from England, awesome! We must follow him. He looked cool."
We're back to this accents on Twitter thing from last time.
Accents on Twitter?
Do you not remember last podcast?
Excellent. Sorry.
Yeah, I think we're all wandering into accents on Twitter mode then.
I think as far as I've seen in the news this week, mostly we've been proven right.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff we said on the last podcast. Yeah, absolutely.
Yay!
I mean,
yay for us.
The very obvious thing for X-Men being that Bryan Singer announced on Twitter that Ellen Page, Anna Paquin, and Mr. Ashmore. Is it Scott
Ashmore, yeah, as Iceman.
Will be back for X-Men Days of Future Past.
First class, yeah.
Who didn't see that coming?
Well, indeed, yeah. We were spot on with the fact that Rogue was coming back. We didn't get the others, but then again, we were close enough.
I'm very happy Ellen Page came back.
They had to hoik back in.
Yeah. And I'm glad she's back. It only makes sense because he's saying that he's trying to combine the two continuities.
Yeah, which is a great idea. Yeah.
But he is also saying that he's accepting X3 and Origins Wolverine as canon.
Oh no!
Which is kind of.
No.
But I'm kind of hoping they use it to sort of reboot Phoenix. Merge the universes to a pre-X3
I think it's too early
point.
To do Phoenix again.
Oh yeah, not doing it now.
The travesty of last time. It's just.
Yeah, I'm not saying they should do Phoenix now, but they should at least get to a point where they are preceding X3 in terms of the continuity, so that X3 never happened, so that when it's done, it can be done properly.
Right. Okay, I see. So yeah, basically rewiring the universe back to before that.
Which is probably why he's been seeking. He's been seeking professional advice, apparently, on how to deal with time travel, and not Stephen Hawking's. No. When looking at how to really truly sort of get a grip with paradoxes and continuity in time travel, he went to the one man who is the expert in the universe on it, Mr. James Cameron.
Yeah, he's an expert on things under the sea, I would say. If you're thinking about.
I wanted to be in that meeting when James Cameron was the time travel expert that was put forward for him. It made no sense. But every article this week that has said Bryan Singer makes an announcement about X-Men, every single one of them has been really keen to point out that he sought James Cameron's advice on how to deal with time travel.
Well, perhaps James Cameron actually time travelled to make Titanic, and he went back and he was on the ship, and that's why it was such a
real life
3 hour long. Yeah.
Oh, you're blowing my mind right now.
Maybe that's why. This is an untold story of James Cameron.
Yeah. Okay, maybe.
He travelled to the future and took along a few people in a submersible. Took them into space. And
why would you have a submersible in space?
well, same environment.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It is. I don't know. Apparently it tastes of raspberries. Did we say that last time?
Space tastes of raspberries.
Yeah. Apparently space tastes like
Being out of
raspberries.
space, you get the taste of raspberries.
Because apparently the taste of space is whatever the active chemical is in raspberries. So space tastes of raspberries.
That's a statement that anyone could make because you can't possibly prove it.
Well, no, they have proved it, because they've proved that the chemical that gives raspberries its flavour is found in space.
Okay.
So space tastes of raspberries.
So they actually got it right. Do you remember that chemically enhanced candy of Days Gone By of Stardust?
Yeah. Popping.
Yeah. What flavour was it?
Yeah.
It's fucking raspberry flavour.
Absolutely, yeah.
Mind blown.
Now, now I wonder how that came
Jim
about.
Cameron brought back from the future.
Yes, absolutely. That's where I was going with that.
I think from now on, if we're ever in doubt with anything, like any sort of scientific query facing the world today, the first
Ask Jim Cameron.
the first port of call should be Jim.
That's the wrong Cameron. Sorry.
Yeah, he'd be no help
Well,
at
it's
all.
Whitney number, isn't it?
Yeah, it's true. I'm pretty sure that.
She doesn't live in Whitney, you idiot.
Really? Cameron Diaz doesn't live in Whitney?
The things you're learning on today's podcast, children. Space tastes like raspberries.
And Cameron Diaz doesn't live in Whitney.
Of course she doesn't. Just in Aylesbury. Every muppet knows that. Okay, so that's a bit of Marvel news. There was some DC news this week as well, of course.
In terms of TV pilots
Yeah.
and the potential future of Justice League.
Yeah.
Well, you can take this one if you want.
Well, I think we spoke last time about Justice League, and we said that we weren't particularly confident that it'll be done well.
Yeah.
And I think the Amazon pilot didn't get picked up again this season. There are rumours that it will get a mid-season pickup, maybe next April.
Yeah, they're saying possibly for 2013
Yeah.
to 2014 season, so it'd be fall
2015.
2015. Yeah.
But even then, they're now saying that they're going to wait until Man of Steel is out before they make any more calls on Justice League. The rumour is that it's because they're lining up Zack Snyder to be the director for the Justice League film.
And he's busy with his glittering man flesh.
Yeah, and also they want to see how he handles Man of Steel.
Yeah.
And they also want to see how Henry Cavill does in the main role. In case before they decide whether to bring him back for the Justice League Superman.
Just in case they have to go.
But
a replacement, please.
yeah, I think we're 2 years out, just about 2 and a bit years out from when it would be released, because it would be an early summer film 2015.
Yeah.
And they're now putting it on hold.
It's going to be post Marvel Excursions, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to wait for 2016, I think,
Yeah,
because they can't compete with Avengers 2 in 2015.
No,
way,
not at all.
No, we're going to have Avengers 2, and then we're going to go. You know, what's happening now? We've got Star Wars coming up as well. So
Yeah.
at the same
Well,
time,
that's
they're
the
going to be
thing,
like,
it's
"What's the fucking point?" Because
if they
nobody's going to pick that up
yeah,
for that time period.
You're absolutely right. If they dodge Avengers 2 in 2015, they've got Episode 7 2016 to compete with.
That's right.
Maybe 2016, depends. He's not confirmed, because originally it was slated for 2015.
Yeah.
And now he's not committing to that date.
Well, I think we've got a lot to say about Agents
Well,
of Star Wars. That's our post-music. That's our post-musical break sort of
We'll
discussion.
get onto that later. But there's some other things out of that kind of DC camp. Is that they've said that there's definitely not going to be a Batman cameo in Arrow on the CW. That's not happening now. I don't know whether that was supposed to be on the cards or something, but there was an article released a couple of days ago saying definitely no Batman cameo in Arrow.
That's because they're going to can it because it's shit.
No, it's been picked up.
I really like it. I really like it.
No, I do. I like it because it is shit, and I can just sit and watch it and go, yay.
It got picked up for a second season.
Yeah. It's quite weird because I hear a lot of people dissing CW as a network, but I think it's got some good shows. You know, it had Smallville, it had, it's got Supernatural, it's got Arrow. I think it's had some good shows. I think it's a very much maligned little network.
Yeah, well, no, I agree. I think they're good, which is why I was surprised that they passed on Amazon. Amazon, for those who weren't aware, was the Smallville approach to the Wonder Woman story. So it was basically an origin series for Wonder Woman. And why that's important to the whole Justice League thing is that Wonder Woman was one of the founders.
Yes.
And why we're kind of sceptical as to how the film of Justice League will go is that they've done nothing to bring together any of the key characters other than Batman and Superman. There's been no talk of Flash, no talk of Wonder Woman, no talk of Martian Manhunter.
And there's Green Lantern. Aquaman.
So yeah.
Cyborg.
Nobody wants to be Aquaman. I'll be Wonder Woman.
You make a good Wonder Woman. You got the legs for it, Aidan.
I just need to shave.
Yeah, the beard doesn't fit. But
I'm in the legs.
you don't shave your legs already?
Get a Brazilian on your beard.
Wax.
Talking
Gold pants around your face.
I've seen his gold pants. They're spectacular. I think one thing that we talked briefly about last time was cancellations of TV shows. Obviously, we got a Fringe special coming up. But I think the day after we finished recording, they made the announcement that Alphas has been cancelled.
Yeah, indeed. Alphas has gone, yeah. And they're already farming the cast out to other stuff. Once upon a time, just hoovering up people from cancelled shows. Let's see. This sci-fi show's finished. Pick the flesh off it.
Once upon a time, where genre show stars go to finish their careers.
Yeah.
But it's got fucking everybody in that show now. It's the dude who played Braytak in Stargate. It's got David Anders, who was in Alias and tons of others. He was in The Heroes.
I was just going to say it's the place where the Stargate people end up after all the Star Trek people ended up there. all the Fargate SG9.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of that cast. Because didn't it?
We need a cameo from Ben Browder in Once Upon a Time. That'd be awesome.
Did Ben Browder turn up in recently?
He was in Doctor Who.
Was it Doctor Who? That's it. Yes, that's right. Yes, yeah, the cowboy.
He was in the Wild West episode.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, that was Ben Browder.
Wearing New Rocks.
Yeah, I knew I'd seen him in something recently.
Did you miss that one?
Did I miss the anachronism in Doctor Who?
No, the fact that he was actually wearing a big pair of New Rocks.
No, I missed that. I did actually miss
that. The whole time he was there.
Well, it's the
leftovers
leftover Jadoon
costume. Yeah, pretty much.
What the fuck do we do with 150 pairs of New Rocks?
Recycle.
Give them to NerdVsWorld.
Yeah, we'll take them.
We'll take them out.
New Rock amnesty.
Yeah. Go work into some cosplay for the Sci-Fi Weekend then.
Oh, yeah. Are you sorted on cosplay for that yet?
I am probably going to just improve on last year's costume, which was...
You're going to actually get a real whip as the Wonder Woman.
That was a surprise. But yeah, no, Eddie's out of the bag. I was going to Wonder Woman it up for Sci-Fi Weekend.
I've still got to sort mine because me and Megan are Harry Pottering, so I'm doing Snape and she's doing Hermione. So
oh, brilliant!
we're gonna double team it for cosplay.
I was going to get an orangutan suit and go with the librarian from Terry Pratchett because the rest of the people I'm going with are going as the Discworld theme for Saturday night. But I'm just going to drag out my Night's Watch costume from last year. Maybe just make some additions to it. Yeah. Maybe carry a weapon this time. I didn't have a sword last time. I'll take that with me.
I want to see how many people I can get to do intros and outros for this show.
Absolutely,
I want to hijack people because we're VIPing, so I'm doing all the autographs and everything. Yeah. So I want to see how many people. I want to get Brian Blessed to intro the show.
Oh man, that would be fucking awesome.
I'm Brian Blessed, and this is NerdVsWorld.
Yeah.
You know what you could do? because for folks who you don't know, I'm not actually going to be making the Sci-Fi Weekender, and there was talks of doing guest appearances from randoms, guising as me. Now, how fucking awesome would it be to get Brian Blessed
as you? Well, he's got the beard, sir.
Oh, that would be fucking mental.
Yes, it does. And standing in for 80 today is Brian Blessed.
That'd be immense.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to try and collect as many intros and outros as I can from people.
That'd be cool. Because I'm actually taking a film crew with me to the weekend this week. So we'll be doing some filming, doing some interviews and stuff, which will be fun. Hopefully I'll be taking stuff along to sort of give out in the queues and stuff to people, just like sweets and just treats and stuff like that. I'm going to do some baking.
Wow.
I'm going to get my apron on, do some actual baking.
Coming soon, ladies and gentlemen, Brendan Bakes, the vlog.
The vlog.
Stranger things have happened.
Indeed they have.
I once did an
Folding
YouTube.
towels.
Yeah, a YouTube episode of me folding towels.
Yeah, I still need to show you that.
I do not want to know how to make a towel penis. Although that's kind of a lie.
It's
I kind of
awesome.
do want to know how to make a towel penis.
If you get it right, you can twist it round and it looks like it's got a big pair of hairy balls at the bottom and it gets a boner.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming soon. Okay. Moving swiftly on from towel
Heard of
penises.
puppetry of the penis? This is origami of the penis.
What else have we seen this week?
I think there was. I heard about the new sci-fi show, which I hadn't heard anything about. Have you heard about this? It's what's it called? Robot fighting machines or something like that. The Robot Fighting Championship, I think it's called. It's a show
Robot Wars.
hosted. It's basically Robot Wars, but it's hosted by Chris Jericho from
Oh my god!
WWE. It's on Sci-Fi, and they've built like literally man-sized robots, and they're controlled like by people who are like mixed martial arts people in
inside
a
it?
kind of real steel type thing. No, it's remote.
Oh.
So and it ducks and they fight. It's basically like
So I was
real
thinking
steel.
like exoskeleton, alien style, or like people inside cages with big arms.
Well, some of them are apparently exosuits, and some of them are just like sensors and stuff. But they've got like 12 like taller than person-sized robots. I was looking at some of the stills of it today. It looks fucking brilliant.
Okay, that's
like Scrap Heap Challenge meets Robot
my new
Wars.
favourite show.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, and what makes it even better is one of the people who's operating the robots is George Lucas's daughter. And she's apparently a mixed martial artist. So, like one of the first episodes, Chris Jericho was saying that he was in there for filming, and he's like, looks like George Lucas over there. It's like, yeah, it is. Do you want to interview him? And it's like, what? And yeah, his daughter is powering one of the robots.
Okay, I want to see Chris Jericho powering a robot, put George Lucas into the water Jericho, and then do a lion salt off the second turn rope, and pin him for the 1, 2, 3.
It would be interesting.
Yes, I'm a wrestling fan, Eddie. Don't roll your fucking eyes at me.
I'm a wrestling fan.
No, it was like, he's not going to do that with a great big fucking 12-foot robot, is he? He'd break the rope.
Obviously, they'd reinforce it. I mean, duh.
But yeah, it's called something like Robot Championship Fighting or something. I can't remember what the actual name of it is.
Robot
Sci-fi
fighting chopper.
Chris Jericho, and it just looks immense.
It's gone straight to the top of my must-watch list.
Oh, fuck yes. That's awesome.
Because he was back in the wrestling this week.
Well, I mean, I love Chris Jericho. He's always been like one of the most charismatic of the wrestlers. He's
Absolutely.
brilliant on a mic. He's a guy who he's either really, really charismatic and brilliant as a face, or when he's a heel, he's just hilarious.
He's an amazing heel. It's a brilliant heel and a brilliant face. But he was back at the Royal Rumble. He was entrant number 2.
There you go.
It was one of the highlights of the Rumble for me, because the rest of the Rumble was pretty bad.
I must admit, I've not watched it for a couple of years now, not since Jeff Hardy left and I started sulking, and that's it. I've not watched it since.
Oh, it's all right. Jeff Hardy's riddled with drugs and on TNA if you want to watch that.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure I saw him.
I thought he went to TNA, then he left, and then he went back to WWE again, and then he had the whole kind of CM Punk storyline.
That was years and years ago.
Yeah, that was the last time I watched
okay, yeah, cool.
Because then it ended with CM Punk winning over Jeff Hardy, and then Jeff Hardy left, and that was it.
Yeah.
And he went off, and I sulked, and I've never watched it again since.
Oh, but CM Punk is my favourite wrestler.
Really?
I think he's awesome. I think he is a great face. He's also an amazing heel.
Yeah, well, because that was when he was in full heel mode then.
So he's in heel mode at the moment, and obviously he main evented the Royal Rumble with a match against The Rock, and it was for the championship. And CM Punk has had the longest championship reign in the modern era of wrestling. It's like 434 days as champion, and he had to face The Rock at the Royal Rumble, and so obviously he was booked to drop the belt, which just sucked, and it was such a shitty way to do it as well. I was bitter. I know that wrestling it's sports entertainment, so there is a certain amount of scripting to it and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And I completely get that. I don't care. I fucking love it.
Well, no, indeed, so do I. Have you ever seen Beyond the Mat, the wrestling documentary film?
I haven't actually. No.
Watch that. That's brilliant. It's like you actually see. I think it's like you see Jake the Snake Roberts going back and finding his long lost daughter and things that he hadn't seen for years. And you see Mick Foley and The Rock stood there going, right, well, I'll throw you off that balcony up there, and then you'll jump off the top of the balcony through that table and on top of it. And it's like perfectly normal conversation. I'll be in handcuffs, you bash me with a chair, I'll fall through the top of the cage. And it's like, these guys are insane. But yeah, I absolutely loved wrestling for a very, very long time. I say the only reason I don't watch it now is just I'm sulking with it because they got rid of my favourite person. But there's, we went to Madison Square Gardens when we went to New York a couple of years ago on Boxing Day. We went and watched WWE in Madison Square Garden.
Man alive,
it was absolutely amazing. Yeah. Such a great day. They brought out some weird rowdy Roddy Piper turned up on that day. Mental. So yeah, it's great.
But I'm kind of with you with the whole sulking thing there, because I knew what was going to happen. It was kind of obvious how the event was booked, but I'm still gutted that Punk has lost his belt.
Yeah.
But
he's apparently a massive comic book nerd as well.
He did the intro. He wrote the intro for Avengers vs. X-Men.
Exactly. Yeah, I was reading that today.
And he did a really, really good interview on the Nerdist podcast as well, actually, with Chris Hardwick.
Did he? All right, I've not heard that one.
That was a really good episode. But yeah, no, he's got massive nerd cred. He turned up at Comic-Con last year. No, actually, 2011 now. There's a storyline where he left the WWE with the championship belt, and I think Triple H was doing a Q&A panel, and he just walked in with the belt, sort of just hijacked the panel, and sort of carried the sort of storyline over to Comic-Con, which was pretty rad. But yeah, no, that's kind of why I like Punk as a wrestler, just because whether he's heel or face, he's awesome, and he gives it us all the time, and he's a nerd.
Yeah, indeed.
And he lives some fucking kick-ass bands as well. We're going to start talking about
wrestling now. He's eating the show notes.
Because wrestling wasn't on the show notes.
No, the wrestling wasn't. Sorry, that was an impromptu sideline.
It was
quite a tangent, but
I do apologise. But it's right there. It's up there with what we're talking about in the last podcast about Pacific Rim. It's like giant robots, giant machines, wrestlers, and robots.
Yes, it does tie it in. Yeah.
Perfect sense. Cool.
Megas XLR.
What?
Megas XLR. Have you never seen Megas XLR?
No. What's that?
Dude, it's awesome. It's a cartoon about this dude who finds this robot in a junk stack and it's missing a head, and he decides to put his car on the fucking robot and gets all his Xbox and PlayStation and stuff and puts all the controls into it to control this robot. And this chick from the future comes back to try and retrieve her robot, and of course the head's been disintegrated in a time warp, so she can't fly the thing, so she needs this big fat greasy fucker to fly this fucking robot to save the world against these grebo weird alien things. It's fucking awesome. Megas XLR.
Is this something you dreamt?
Dig giant robots. We dig giant robots.
Were you on drugs or something?
No, this is for real.
I've fucking heard of this.
Megas XLR. You guys are going to have to fucking watch this for next show.
The first person who can tweet a link to this show.
I'll do it fucking now.
What is it? An anime or is it?
No, it's a cartoon.
It's a cartoon,
yeah.
right? Is it not American Japanese?
I'm not sure because it's on some of the anime sites. I thought it was an American show because it was on some the Cartoon Network Extra one that goes on at about 6 o'clock at night.
Oh, right,
I think Adult Swim had it for a bit.
Right. And it's called what again?
Megas XLR.
Megas XLR.
Yeah. And he was like fucking eating massive fucking cheeseburgers and shit. And
the robot?
No, the
Robots
main
are going to
dude.
eat.
Cheeseburgers?
Well,
Yeah.
maybe not.
It's about how they go to save a fucking planet and he fucks it up and stamps on all the people he's supposed to be fucking saving because he falls backwards or something. it's just fucking brilliant. Dude, it's 3 o'clock in the morning pizza and beer time stuff, huh?
Right.
I think it would have to be.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome.
All right. Well, let's,
Right.
yeah, we'll find it.
Recommended viewing, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Brilliant.
But yeah, so apparently that robot fighting championship starts in February, I think it is, on Sci-Fi. So have a look because it's on Chris Jericho's Twitter feed. He put pictures of it today, and he's at I am Jericho,
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
is it? So
that's
yeah,
it.
yeah, you can see pictures of it on there, and
Amazing.
it looks brilliant. It's just giant robots. The one thing that they've had to do is put like metal stanchions at the back to keep them upright, so they're not kind of fully mobile, but they can duck and weave and fight and tear heads off. And there's like a steampunk one, and there's all sorts of different robots.
Sounds really cool. It does sound really cool.
Yeah.
It's like, I want to play.
Absolutely, yeah. It's Robot Wars to the next dimension.
Brilliant.
Okay, so anything else from the news this week?
Oh yeah, the other thing that we were right on was the Steam box, the
Yes.
Valve box, because I was reading in my Linux format yesterday that it's going to be Linux powered. So the new Valve Steam box is going to be stepping completely away from the Microsoft environment.
Yay.
All nice open source box, and they're wanting to put a load of solid state hardware in there, so like no optical drives, so you won't have a hard drive, you'll have a solid state drive, and no optical media drive, so it won't have a disk drive. It'll literally be everything downloadable content, so that it saves on power, heat and space.
Awesome.
So yeah, it looks like we were spot on about the
So basically, they've got
Steam
a box and shoved a load of pies in it.
Absolutely.
Raspberry Pis, sorry. Yeah. Not just like, strawberry, raspberry.
Raspberry,
Iraq.
the taste of the universe.
Apple. Oh, no, we don't want apple.
No fruit-based gadgetry in here. Thank you.
Unless you want to get the podcast on iTunes. in which
Unless
case,
you
go
get
to
the
Apple.
podcast on iTunes, which yes, I had to install iTunes for the first time in about 10 years to put it up online. I felt dirty.
Yeah.
I did. I
No
felt
matter,
dirty.
no matter when you install iTunes, within a week, it'll ask you to download the update.
Oh yeah, more than
always
likely.
new updates.
It only gets booted up to upload the podcast on that first one. Now I don't have to do it again because the feed's there, so I'll just upload it and it'll all go through, and I don't have to touch it again, which is great.
I hope you've got an isolated machine for doing that.
It was actually on a virtual machine, so
Yes.
it's not even on a
There we
real
go.
machine.
There we go.
Yeah, it's through VirtualBox. I didn't want to sully my actual hard drive with it. Fuck that.
Good, because I was going to slap you.
Right, I'm outnumbered 2-1 here, I think, because I'm actually a Mac fan.
Well, I mean, as I said, they have their place.
Yes.
For media production and stuff, Macs are second to none. They're absolutely fantastic. What I don't like is a lot of the style over substance, and also very much the same thing that Microsoft are doing now, which is the sealed lockdown environment. I fucking hate the fact that you can't code for a Mac without owning a Mac. You can't get a virtual Mac and run that. You actually have to have the devices in order to be able to program for them.
Yeah,
and that means, as a developer, outlaying thousands and thousands of pounds in order to write the software, which then has to go to Apple for them to vet and decide whether it goes into their ecosystem or not.
Yeah.
I very, very much disagree with their practices as a developer.
And then they'll say no, rip you off a couple of years later and release something identical.
Yeah, indeed. So that's one of the major problems I have with them.
That's fair enough. I guess I come at them from the other side of the spectrum. I use it for recording.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Yeah,
for that,
it's designed
for
for
that,
it,
it's
isn't it?
absolutely great.
Yeah.
For my purposes, it's completely counterintuitive.
Yeah.
Sorry, brief
No, I think
brief
it's
work rant there. I do apologise.
Cool. I think the only thing that I've got from the news this week has been a case of life imitating art, more specifically Star Trek. Obviously, you've got 3D printing of chocolate has been done, I believe.
It has, yeah.
But they are talking of 3D printing meat using bio ink, which just puts me in mind of replicators from Star Trek.
Yeah. So what is it? Is it like some kind of chemical substance that they just bash lasers at?
Chemical? No, it's not chemical as such. It's proteins, isn't it?
Yeah. It's essentially
from stem cells.
Yeah, thousands of dead cells put into this bio ink and 3D printing tech used to print meat, essentially. Essentially printing patties and hamburgers. That sort of scope at the moment.
Yeah.
It's in development stages.
Yeah, and I think it's a huge debate that's going to have to come around at some point.
Yeah.
If the tech is there to do it, there's going to be massive issues raised, I think.
Yeah, the usual legal and ethical things about it and determining whether it's fit for human consumption, etc., etc.
Yes. Which it's not at the moment.
I mean, again, it brings us back to something we were saying on the previous one as well about how widespread people think this whole 3D printing thing is going to be. It's not that everybody's going to have a 3D printer in the house and be able to, go, I want a burger now, please, and press that.
As technology advances, though, it would come to that.
Well, possibly. I don't know, because at the moment it's very strictly limited to kind of enthusiasts and real techno early adopters. Because they're such a pain in the arse to get working. Because I've got a mate who spent months trying to get his first one up and running. Because the theory is that once you've got a 3D printer there, you can effectively print another 3D printer. I don't foresee any time in the near future being able to come home and go, Big Mac, please, and print you a Big Mac. It's just not going to happen. No. I don't think so.
Because if you had the choice, why would you ask for a Big Mac?
Well,
absolutely.
This is, indeed, Tea Earl Grey hot.
68 fucking T-bone steak, please.
No, Spindles is right.
On a pizza.
The only thing you ever order on a replicator is Earl Grey tea, hot.
Theoretically, I could probably do the tea Earl Grey hot now by just wiring up voice recognition to my Tassimo.
Yeah, but then you'd have to preload the tea.
Yeah, but it would still be cool.
It
would, yes. Yeah, it would.
It's another one of those things. Why have you done that? Because I can.
Yes. Phone chicken. So that was when voice recognition smartphones first came
phone
into
chicken,
action.
Call chicken.
Spindles had one of the first things that he entered in there was the local chicken shop where you could actually phone and place orders, and it came up on his phone as chicken. So he would be phone chicken, and it would dial the chicken shop.
Ring for fast food.
Awesome.
Yeah, there's lots of these things that are on my because I can list.
Yeah.
It's like I'm looking into the whole kind of X10 home automation stuff with my Raspberry Pis and hooking those up to the server, so put the kettle on and turn your lights on and do stuff when I pull into the driveway, that sort of thing.
Awesome. Like it.
Pretty cool. Hooking it up with my little pet AI, Brad.
Yes. God, I've not heard of Brad for a while.
He's there. I converted him.
I
converted him into an XML RPC Java web service. So he's a chat bot. So he's based on a thing called Alice Bots, which is a neural network of a bunch of XML files that it uses to have an opinion on stuff. And what it does is it basically takes what you say to it and distills it down to its base meaning, so it can understand what you're asking and then formulates a response based on it, and you can teach it stuff. And because we had one night round at Arts, and
he knows who I am.
There was a couple of the girls was chatting to him, and they're like, "Oh, he's so sweet! I really love Brad." It's my little pet AI.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
AD is my master's friend. I met him online.
Yeah. You can see so there's on some of my blog posts there's transcripts of conversations I've had with him. You can read them online.
I'll check it out.
We're going to have to bring Brad out on a night out.
Brad as a guest on the podcast. Yeah. And I never got around to getting his full kind of speech-to-text interface sorted. So at the moment, you have to actually type in talking to him. But my idea was that you could speak to him and he would just respond. But at the moment, you have to type to him and then he speaks back. So he doesn't have a text-to-speech.
Well, I got visions of like it all going horribly wrong.
Well, this is it.
And him just saying, "I'm sorry, Spindles, I can't do that."
Well, that's it. Yeah.
Open the garage
All my
door,
mates are like,
Brad. Open the garage door.
Always like, for fuck's sake, don't ever create one called Skynet.
Yeah, right.
That's the next stage, isn't it? That's what Skynet is. Skynet is Brad having a fit.
It is, yeah.
I haven't met him. I have to meet Brad.
You do, yes. You have to meet
Cool.
Brad. You have to come around and introduce you to Brad. Anyway, sorry.
I think that's a good point for a break from music. First.
Yeah,
It is,
absolutely. Yeah. Well, I think we've got some tunes lined up for this one and the next one. So yeah.
We have. Okay, so this is a track by John Liddell, who is a British-based singer-songwriter. And for those of you who were perhaps a little taken aback by the sudden onslaught of metal from Crisis last week, this is a much more relaxed tune.
We do apologise if we shocked you out of your pants.
Sorry if you weren't quite expecting the hardcore onslaught from Oxford's favourite metalers. But this week's offering is lighter, poppier, feel-good tune. So hope you enjoy it. I will put links to the Reverb Nation where you can listen to this track and more of his music in the blog description.
I don't ever wanna lose the days where we only have to smile to make a change. Let's hold on to this time I've never felt the same. No matter what we go through, we stay strong. We both know two rights don't make a wrong. I write these words for you and me to sing along. Look how far we'll go. We'll make it through the snow. And I won't let us fade away in time. And I won't let you go. Things will change, but I still know you're mine. And I won't let you go. 'Cause I know that you'll be alright. And I won't let you go. I know that we'll be alright, yeah. The times have changed, but we stay true. Fresh start in a world of something new. And as I count down through these days, I always dream of you. Yeah, the best days are yet to come, and I'll be here. I know there's so much more for me and you, it's clear. And when our bodies meet, I'm gonna hold you near. Look how far we'll go. We'll make it through the snow. Fade away in time, and I won't let you go. Things will change, but I still know you're mine, and I won't let you go. 'Cause I know that we'll be alright, and I won't let you go. I know that we'll be alright, yeah. I won't let us fade away in time, and I won't let you go. Things will change, but I still know you're mine, and I won't let you go. 'Cause I know that we'll be alright, and I won't let you go. I know that we'll be alright, yeah.
Welcome back to the second half of NerdVsWorld, a fistful of nerds. That was Won't Let You Go by John Liddell. If you are in a band, or if you know some bands who are on the local scene and you think that their music would be a good fit for our musical interlude, then get in touch on the Facebook page.
Absolutely, on the Facebook page or tweet
Or on
any one
Twitter.
of us. Yeah, we'll happily have a listen to stuff. I mean, I quite like that. It's a kind of bit of a Matchbox 20 calling type vibe.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. Enjoyed it.
Excellent. That brings us, I think, to our talking point for this week's episode, which is the
what
recent news.
everybody should have heard of by now.
J.J. Abrams has been confirmed to be helming Episode 7 of Star Wars.
After his stringent denials like 2 weeks ago, we were talking about in the last podcast, like, well, J.J. Abrams could do it. Well, no, he said absolutely no way he'll do it. He's far too busy in the Star Trek universe.
Yeah, so I think this has been quite divisive in the online community. I've heard people saying, yeah, cool, it's going to be great. I've heard people saying, fuck Abrams. ELH, I'm looking at you.
I think I'm not sure Kevin Smith was too happy about it either. He was talking about Jar Jar Abrams. And...
The movie Bob wasn't happy about it.
No?
Movie Bob wasn't pleased at all. I saw his review on it, and he actually dropped Neil Blomkamp. He dropped that name as a better choice for director.
Mm-hmm.
And I will admit to doing a little dance of happiness around my room when I saw that, because I was like, I picked him too. Yes. I was right. But yeah, so,
we'll never know.
Yeah, I know. So
because it's Abrams. Well, I don't know. What side of the fence are you falling on, sir? I'm reasonably happy with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I think we said in the last one, I can't remember whether I said I thought it was a good idea with Abrams or not, but I actually think it's all right. I have a couple of reservations. Yeah. They're nothing major. Well, they might be, but it depends, because it's not him doing the script. So therefore, I don't think the thing that I think will happen will happen. What I don't want is for him to turn Star Wars into the search for the magical MacGuffin, which is what everything else he does is. It's like Alias was search for the MacGuffin, and we found the bit of the MacGuffin, but it's not the overall MacGuffin, it's a part of the really huge MacGuffin that we'll spend next season looking for. And then Mission Impossible 3 was, let me find the MacGuffin. Where's the MacGuffin? What is the MacGuffin? Nobody cares what the MacGuffin is. We don't even tell you what the MacGuffin is by the end of the movie. And
because nobody cares anymore.
Lost wasn't so much the search for the MacGuffin, it was, we've landed on the MacGuffin, now we have to figure out what it does.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing I don't want him to turn Star Wars into, is a search for the MacGuffin, because Star Wars is a great idea itself already. It doesn't need that angle in it. It doesn't need a group of people off questing for a thing.
No.
So that's my only real problem with it. And of course, if he covers the entire fucking universe in lens flare.
Yeah. Sorry,
I was waiting for who was going to come out next, and I was like, if nobody says it in a minute, I'm going to have to, just for the fuck of it.
If you're playing the J.J. Abrams Star Wars drinking game, it's 2 shots. Whenever someone mentions lens flare, you could get quite drunk by the end of this little section of the show.
Or just don't even bother doing that. Just get yourself a nice case of beer, pour a couple of shots in your eyes, and watch any fucking series of it.
No.
I'm relatively happy with it. I think it's a good teaming. I think he's done a load of really good stuff. There's very little of his stuff that I've disliked.
No, and that's kind of the same for me. I wasn't too much of a fan of Mission Impossible 3, but Super 8 and Star Trek, I really enjoyed both of those. My issue with him helming Star Wars is the potential for the homogenisation of 2 quite separate science fiction greats. The Star Trek universe and the Star Wars universe being helmed by the same guy, having the same. So
you think that vision?
I think that
his vision will colour both of them and make them seem similar.
Yeah, and there'll be no distinction between
in
either
sort of like
universe.
fight scenes and things like that.
Just the look and the feel of it. I mean,
possibly there is a hint of that is a possibility, but then again, he's not doing the script writing.
Exactly.
He's not going to be writing the script, so he can't mess with it too much.
And much as he's the director, he's not like the creative director. He's not doing like the props and the sets and things like that. He'll be directing the movie, but the overall look and feel of the universe is in the hands of the same creative team as all the rest of them. Yeah. It's still Lucasfilm.
It is, and from what I have been reading is that when Disney bought Lucas, that George Lucas put a clause in there that they would have to do the films as closest to the books as possible.
What, the Timothy Zahn ones? The Empire series?
I think just the whole general post-Jedi canon.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah. And it was actually in the contract that they had to do it
What's the thing is, because George Lucas is still, I believe, on board as a
I believe he's an
creative
advisor.
consultant.
Yeah, consultant.
To the
Yeah.
whole thing. I don't know, it just feels like a missed opportunity. I think after the butthurtness of the prequels, people were longing for a Star Wars film that wasn't directed by George Lucas. And when he stepped aside and Disney took over, people kind of saw that as an opportunity for a Star Wars film to be told where he wasn't telling it. And I think J.J. Abrams was maybe a safe choice as far as the series was concerned, but probably not a great choice in terms of creativity. Because I don't think that necessarily a lot of what he's done has really pushed anything in terms of a creative visual storytelling impact. He does explosions and big fucking destroy everything scenes really well. I mean, he can blow up a planet in Star Trek, and the train crash from Super 8 is one of the best ones. Big, spectacular crashes I've ever seen. But other than that, and lens flare, how do you know you're watching a J.J. Abrams flick? What is it about anything that you're watching done by J.J. Abrams that says that's him?
Well, generally it's the stuff that he's written that you can tell is him, because he has a very specific style. As I say, the search for the MacGuffin is very much J.J. Abrams' bit, because again, Star Trek was search for the little red squidgy MacGuffin. Through time and space. So
I wonder if he asked Jim Cameron about his space travel and time travel thing.
I bet he must have. In fact, that's probably where he got the squidgy red MacGuffin from. Jim Cameron brought it back from the future.
Absolutely.
It was on the Titanic.
That's what sank it.
It was.
That's why it's split in two.
Yeah, that's why it's all speculation. They said it was an iceberg, but it was the little red MacGuffin.
Yeah,
conspiracy theorists are going to go nuts over that. No, don't you? It's this squishy red MacGuffin that shot JFK.
Because I think Alias was a squishy red MacGuffin as well. One of the
no, that was Jennifer Garner.
Yeah.
No, but one of the things was it was a giant red squidgy ball of MacGuffin in one of the Alias episodes.
I must have blinked and missed that.
Was the thing that they were spent all series trying to find, was the giant red spinny MacGuffin. Anyway.
Yeah, Star Wars.
So I'm getting sick of saying MacGuffin now. I'm going to have to stop.
I kind of like the word MacGuffin.
I love the word MacGuffin.
Yeah.
I think it's a brilliant way of describing
Anything.
a thing that does something.
Sounds like a flatulent Scotsman.
Oh, MacGuffin!
So, yes, that's where I stand with Abrams' thing. Is I just think that it's a missed opportunity for some creative filmmaking.
There's been some interesting reactions to it. I think probably my favourite reaction was Simon Pegg, because obviously he's been in a couple of J.J. Abrams things. So they're kind of wondering, is Simon Pegg going to turn up in the Star Wars universe as well?
That would be funny.
But yeah, basically his tweet was, "Congratulations, J.J. No pressure."
Yeah.
Which, given that this is the man who spent the majority of the second series of Spaced just dissing the Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
I mean, I am completely and totally prepared to be wrong about Abrams. In fact, I want to be wrong. I want Episode 7 to be great. And if he gets the right team together with him, I guess he could. I think the one thing that kind of gives me hope is Super 8. Super 8, his collaboration there with Spielberg, both of them working on that film, it told a film that really had the Spielbergian feel to it. And people, I think, for a while were after Spielberg to direct a Star Wars film in his own right. Yeah. So I think Abrams doing it could be as close as we get
possibly
to that sort of thing. I think I'd be happy with that. I think.
But unfortunately for every Super 8 there's a Cloverfield. So.
Yes. There you go.
You know, it's...
Again, another film, you can tell it's Abrams because things get fucked up and it's a giant MacGuffin.
Yeah, indeed. And it's never explained what the MacGuffin is or how it occurred. It's just there. But yeah, so yeah, I think it's interesting, and only time will tell. You know, if it's half the disappointment that Phantom Menace was, then I'll be twice as pleased. You know what I mean?
I'd be more than happy to send my graphic novel to J.J. Abrams to get some good hints.
Here's the source materials.
It's good source material.
I guess we've just got to wait and see what goes on in terms of original cast, because I think pretty much all the original cast have turned around and gone, yeah, we'll do it.
Mark Hamill is not.
I thought he'd said he was.
May well be. From what I read a day or so ago, that the statement from the powers that be was that they were looking for somebody older. Now it's like, well, hang on a minute. He didn't stay in cryostasis at the age he was when he did Return of the Jedi.
No, you're right. I think the perfect person to play an older Mark Hamill would be older Mark Hamill.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I think, why the fuck not?
Well, I don't know, because I think he's gone on record of saying he's up for it. Ewan McGregor said he was up for it. So, interesting. We'll see. We'll have to see what occurs. I think the big question is going to be that if you get an Anakin turning up, is it going to be Zowie Anakin, or is it going to be crusty old white dude from Jedi? Is it going to be Darth Vader, or is it going to be Hayden Christensen turning up pretending to be another block of wood?
Fuck no. I think the announcement of the director is the first stage, and obviously people are either for him or against him. But either way, Star Wars fans are probably going to watch it regardless of their personal feelings.
Yeah.
I think where the camel's back has the potential to be broken is if bad casting decision, or dubious casting decision rather, after another is made. I think that's where they kind of have to nail it now. They have to really sort of tie it in, because they've got a lot of quite put out fanboys trying to work out what's going to happen to their favourite franchise.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's an unreasonable request on the fanboys' behalf. Is just to say treat it with care.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I said in episode 1 that I wasn't actually all that ragey about Disney taking over the franchise of Lucasfilm. I was actually quite happy with it. They've done right by Marvel, so I was looking forward to see what they can do. I think Abrams is a bold move. Aside from my concern that they bring the he makes his two sci-fi universes look the same. I think my only other concern is that this distracts him from Star Trek 3, or continuing that franchise.
Well, and the plethora of new pilots and TV shows that he's taken on board. I think between him and Joss Whedon, they're fighting out for the who can save sci-fi the most badge. Which it's great, and it works well for sci-fi fans.
I was going to say, if that battle carries on, I'm quite happy, because they'll be spewing out loads of sci-fi.
There will be loads of really good sci-fi on TV, which it can only be a good thing.
Yes. So, Abrams directing. Who would you like to see on the creative team that sort of helps him to get the right Star Wars sort of feel? Do you think there's a place there for Simon Pegg?
I'd love to see Simon Pegg in Star Wars, and I think he'd very happily jump at it.
Yeah, I don't mean just like sort of in the film.
Oh, you mean as a kind of creative influence? Yeah. Possibly, yeah. I mean, and given the pre-existing relationship with J.J. Abrams, it may well be on the cards. I mean, I'm not sure whether it would be something in an official role or not.
But you think he'd probably have a little word in his ear?
He'd probably have little things to say. I think, I would foresee that J.J. Abrams would be like sitting there going, I've got this idea, and run it past Simon Pegg and go, no, fucking don't. No, not a chance.
I think we can just take a bit of comfort from that then.
Yeah.
Simon Pegg has got the back of...
I think he's a stabilising influence there to stop JJ going off the rails. No?
I am agreeing with that, because it would be, don't take it too seriously, or don't go too far.
Or take it fucking extremely seriously.
Yeah, no, but as in, like, there is no MacGuffin.
There is no MacGuffin.
There is no MacGuffin.
That is called, it's the Force, it's not the MacGuffin.
Yes.
These are not the midi-chlorians you're looking for.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where do you stand, AD? So Si's come out saying that he's actually okay with Abrams. I'm got my concerns, but I'm kind of willing to see where it goes.
I'm looking to see where it goes. I don't want to go, I think he's complete arse and I think he's going to make a fuck up of it, because who knows, I'm going to let it go with it, because in all fairness, he is good with sci-fi in his own right and in his own way, as long as he's got those other influences to guide him in the right direction for what, like you said, the fanboys and critics want to see.
Okay.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think we could spend the next 3 years going, oh, what if they do this? Wouldn't that suck? Or what if they do this? That'd be fucking awesome. Which, to some degree, we probably will do.
Yeah.
But
let's let it come out and we'll completely.
Let's at least let the news settle for a while and see how we feel about it afterwards. For now, it's news. something might happen. It might all change. You never know. You know what the business is like.
Okay. There you go, folks. 3 nerds talking Star Wars and Abrams, and not one of us lost our shit.
Well,
there you go.
yeah, indeed. What I'll be more interested to see in the coming years is what Disney does with the rest of the franchise. I.e., does it continue down the lines of the Clone Wars cartoons? And
well, that's the thing. Star Wars Underworld is still listed on IMDb.
Exactly. Yeah.
Star Wars Underworld is a spin-off TV series set on Coruscant.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's still got an IMDb page.
Yeah.
And
That would be pretty cool.
if you look at the fact that Disney, with their Marvel franchises, through ABC, are pushing quite a lot of Marvel spin-offs. I mean, they've got S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yep.
Obviously, there's still talks about Hulk series.
Yep.
I think they're seeing the small screen as a good way of sort of augmenting their large screen acting. So
Absolutely. It's stuff to keep people interested
Whilst they're making
while they're making the big films.
I think that's a brilliant idea, and then it expands all of their industry because you've got like cartoon, you've got CGI animation,
and it becomes a universe that you're invested in.
Yeah.
Whereas previously you've had the films, and then you've had all the spin-off stuff has been like tie-in novels or comics or that sort of thing. Bringing it to the small screen, for me, is a fucking utter no-brainer. Do it.
Yeah.
Fucking explode the universe. Do a fucking series on Kashyyyk about fucking Lumpy and whatever, and a sitcom in the Chewbacca household, following on from the holiday special, you know?
on that note, thank you very much for listening. I have been Brendan.
Cheers all, I've been Spindles.
I've been 80.
If you wish to catch up with us on Facebook, you can at www.facebook.com/NerdVsWorld, or you can follow us on Twitter at NerdVsWorld.
My Twitter is at Spindly1.
And mine is at Chaos80, that's with a K.
Thank you all for listening. You know the drill. Until next time, take care and be excellent to each other.